Hey, NFL fans, this is your boy Mad Mike from Mad Mike Sports Unleashed with Mad Mike Sports. All right, this is an interesting topic going around the NFL right now. You have Sean Payton. All right, he is the legend head coach from the New Orleans Saints organization. He made his bones with the quarterback Drew Brees for quite some time. All right. These guys won a championship together. They had a long tenure there, and he knows a little bit about quarterbacks. Why am I talking about this right now? All right. I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan. All right. He is a coach for the Denver Broncos. And if you have not already, this guy has informed that he would sit quarterback Russell Wilson. All right. They are expecting him to sit for the next few games. I think he has $35 million. They don't want him to get hurt, so they're expecting to kind of sit him in favor of Jarrett Stidham. So the question around the league, the expectation is his tenure, Russell Wilson, is pretty much up in Denver. Now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I know you probably, have not thought about this. And if you have, this is something that I really wanted to speak on behalf of Atlanta Falcons fans. And I want to get you guys' takes on this. All right. Desmond Ridder clearly isn't the quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons team. The fans, they really don't believe him whatsoever. Let's not try to pretend like this is a situation where, they believe in him as an organization. They do not believe in Desmond Ridder. He's been benched twice. Okay. Has he been terrible? He's had his moments where he was absolutely terrible. All right. Made one of the worst decisions that a quarterback can make. All right. In that situation. And he admitted that to be the case. Now, I know a lot of fans have said to themselves that Arthur Smith has not done himself any favors. All right. He definitely is a young coach himself, and he's learning how to develop the quarterback the proper way. And he's made a lot of mistakes this year. Play calling, getting the ball into guys' hands like Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is a guy I think a lot of people believe in. He can be an elite tight end for years, but the numbers as far as him is concerned are not where he would like. I can say that fairly confidently, and I can say that on behalf as a fan. Now, fans are definitely not on board with the idea of Kyle Pitts not getting the numbers that we think he has the potential for. So the question is whether or not who is going to be the quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons next season. And we have, several sources around the league that think that Russell Wilson is going to be out in Denver, that Sean Payton wants his guy, that he's going to go out and get his quarterback and build that team in Denver the way that he wants. So the question that I have for you guys is, what do you think about Russell Wilson becoming an Atlanta Falcon quarterback? Now, you have a quarterback in Desmond Ridder that a lot of people feel as though that he's a solid backup, but he's not starting material. And there's a question whether or not the Falcons want to give up the draft capital that'll take to go up. If the Falcons end up with the top 10 pick, I highly doubt it. But if they are somewhere between 10 and 15, will the Atlanta Falcons use draft capital in order to trade up for a guy like Jaden Daniels? All right, that's another scenario. And will the Atlanta Falcons trade a offensive weapon? Will they trade a guy like Grady Jarrett, being that he's coming off of a torn ACL? Highly unlikely, but that's something that you have to think about. You have a tackle in Jake Matthews. Now, you have Matthew Bergeron. He's played left tackle, in his tenure In college, he played left guard. He's a guy that can play right and left tackle. He's a valuable asset. Then you have a guy like Tyler Vrabel. Don't know if he's the answer at left tackle. But there's something to think about. Will the Atlanta Falcons move on? Will they even make a decision to bring in a quarterback like Justin Fields? That's something to talk about. But the reason why I think this is a good conversation and something to really think about is because I think when you look at it, all the stars align in regards to Russell Wilson becoming an Atlanta Falcons quarterback. Now, the reason why I think this will work out is because, one, the Falcons can negotiate with this. They end up buying out his contract. Russell Wilson, his wife, Sierra, she being an Atlanta native, it makes perfect sense. Now, you go from Denver and she come back home, being in her city, her state. She's used to it, the kids. Yeah, I think it makes perfect sense in regards to what's already been here and the comfortability of everything. Now, the question is whether or not can the Atlanta Falcons afford it? Will the Atlanta Falcons make the decision to trade for a Russell Wilson? And what would it take for the Atlanta Falcons to bring in a Russell Wilson? Now, the money aspect, that's something that is a huge factor and whether or not it is doable, because Russell, he's going to command somewhere from $35 million all the way up to $50 million just for him to be in Atlanta. But the thing is with that, can the Atlanta Falcons come up with a financial a deal that would not only give Russell Wilson a little bit of a guarantee, but flexibility for the Falcons to continue to add little pieces to the defensive side of the ball and pay guys like AJ Terrell. We got guys like Bud Dupree. I don't think he'll, cost a lot of money, and, have a guy behind Russell Wilson, like a Desmond Ridder. They could quite possibly in the first round, second round, the mid rounds, get a young quarterback that you can kind of develop to be that next quarterback if the Atlanta Falcons choose to go that route. It would be interesting. So the Falcons have the ability and the flexibility to bring in a quarterback and a veteran quarterback that's been there. He's done that. He's a guy that can move around, so he'll add to the running game for the Atlanta Falcons. He's a guy that's smart enough and intelligent enough to manage the game. He'll be able to learn the offense of, for one, Arthur Smith. And like I said, Arthur Smith is already proven, as far as he is concerned, that he needs a guy in his offense that pretty much knows how a veteran president, let's just say a veteran president who understands the moments, because for whatever reason, he's, his guys and his staff just has not done well. Granted that he is a young coach. He's still learning. This is his third year as a head coach in the NFL, but he hasn't proven that he can develop the quarterback the proper way on his own. Now, if the Falcons bring in a quarterback's coach or an offensive coordinator that could teach these guys the proper way or develop a quarterback, a Desmond Ridder, go in the draft, get a Michael Penix, or you go in the draft and get a Jaden Daniels. But these guys are going to be available. So the question is, Atlanta Falcons fans, do you think that the Falcons trading for a Russell Wilson, a guy, in my opinion, would have no issues fitting in with this Atlanta Falcons offense. We don't need Russell Wilson to be the Russell Wilson of old. We need Russell Wilson to come in to manage the game, hand the ball off, do his thing with Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, Cordero Patterson, Kyle Pitts, Drake London. You know, they have young pieces. So the Falcons with these young pieces, and then you add a veteran quarterback like Russell Wilson, who could just come in and just manage the game. I think it's something that is intriguing. If the Falcons could somehow come up with a way, a financial, a way to put together any type of deal where the Falcons are not paying $40 million for Russell Wilson, and you kind of spread it out, where it works for not only the Atlanta Falcons, but it works for Russell Wilson, and then we kind of keep money to continue to add to the defensive side of the ball, because offensively, I think the Falcons are set. Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, Kyle Pitts. I think these guys are the offensive line with the Atlanta Falcons, the money with Chris Lindstrom, Caleb McGarrett. These guys have their contracts. You have a young guy, Matthew Bergeron, Drew Dahlman. These guys they pretty much are set for the next 2 to 3 years. So if the Falcons can find a way to trade for a Russell Wilson, would you guys be down for that? All right. So this is your boy, Mad Mike, with another episode of Unleashed. Let me know what you guys think about this. This is an interesting topic. It's been reported by Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, all around the NFL that they're expecting Russell Wilson to be traded from Denver at any given point. But we will see. The Falcons could quite possibly be in the running for a veteran quarterback. Now, a lot of people were thinking Kirk Cousins. I don't know if he fits. We'll see. But Russell Wilson, in my opinion, I think he fits perfectly for what the Atlanta Falcons, as far as his skill sets, his ability to run, to manage the game. He doesn't have to be the Russell Wilson of old where he has to carry a team. This Falcons defense is pretty good. And I think, him being the guy that he is, we know that he's not going to be an off the field issue. And again, nice Christian guy, has values. And again, his wife, Sierra, being from Atlanta, I think it's the marking or the making of